Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Man wanted for shooting at police station captured after turning up at hospital. A Manchester man who managed to elude the police after opening gunfire at lawmen in Crosskeys police station in January is now under police guard in hospital after allegedly shooting at the police on Tuesday during an operation to apprehend him. He has been identified as 25-year-old Orlando Lee. Head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Lloyd Darby said about 1:45 a.m., intelligence led the operation team to a district in the parish where a search for Lee got underway. Based on intelligence, the police went to this district in the Newport area where Lee was at a house, Darby said, adding that during the gun battle, Lee again managed to escape officers, only to turn up at the Mandel Regional Hospital later with gunshot wounds. Lee was reported on bail for illegal possession of firearm when he opened gunfire at police officers at the Crosskeys station on Tuesday, January 25th. Reports are that about 4 p.m., Lee turned up at the station when officers observed a bulge in his waist and accosted him. Lee reportedly pulled a firearm and opened gunfire at the officers before escaping. No officer was injured during the incident. Superintendent Darby said the police are investigating Lee for other criminal offenses that have been committed since the shooting at the police station. Lee is now facing 2 counts of shooting and illegal possession of firearm. Mother sentenced to probation for failure to report teen's pregnancy. A 34-year-old mother of 5 was given 18 months probation with a requirement for parental counseling after failing to make a report to the Children's Registry when she learned that her teenage daughter was pregnant. Having been charged with failing to report a matter to the Children's Registry, the mother of the teen appeared before Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Judge Lorian Montague Cole on Tuesday. Pleading guilty to the charge, the mother, through the assistance of a senior attorney who volunteered to lend his help when it became apparent that she was confused about the issue, explained that she did not report the pregnancy to the Children's Registry because she feared she would be judged by the public. She noted that since being charged, she reported the matter to the Children's Registry. The mother also noted that she was not aware that her daughter was sexually active, and had she known, she would have been more vigilant. Addressing the matter, Montague Cole stated, "I have no intention to separate the child from the mother, but I will also say that the child's child will need her grandmother. It's quite a bit of pressure that they place on you because your daughter clearly was not equipped to be a mother. But be that as it may, sometimes life hands us lemons and we have to deal with it, and we make the best lemonade we can. And that is what you are being called upon to do right now. I know you have your own stresses because parenting is not easy. It has never been easy, and it's worse still," she continued, adding that the mother would not be fined because of the obvious financial constraints. The father of the teenager's child has been arrested and was scheduled to appear before the Home Circuit Court on Wednesday. According to the Child Care Protection Act 2014, any person who withheld information regarding the care and protection of a child may be fined up to $500,000 or imprisoned not exceeding 6 months, or they can be both fined and imprisoned. Vols hit backs at protesters, promises more help. As his constituents clamored from early Thursday morning for repairs to be made to a bridge they need to access their communities, Member of Parliament for Portland Western Darrell Vols vowed that he would not be swayed by orchestrated protest. Residents of Craigmill, Whitehall, and Mount Vernon took to the main road at Buff Bay just after 8 a.m. to call attention to their plight. The National Works Agency NWA, they said, last weekend used more to prevent use of the bridge, which was deemed unsafe in December 2019. The proposed detour is a fording that, becoming impassable after 2 days of heavy rain, placard-bearers protesters blocked the North Coastal Highway for 4 hours until it was eventually cleared by the police. "Help, it is very difficult. We need road, we need bridge. We can't take no more promise. When election time come and then promise, and it does not fulfill. So we need a solution today. We need our Member of Parliament, Mr. Darrell Vols, to solve it, and Ms. Diane Hunter, the representative for Craig Mill to come and solve this problem, said Grace Johnson. One 61-year-old woman said she has never seen the bridge repaired, adding that she is tired of empty promises. We have been begging and nothing has happened. How much longer are we to beg? We have been paying our taxes. What are we to do now? There is a river where that made a road. Every time rainfall, the river come up. Now they have put line there and we can't come across. We need a bridge, demanded the woman who gave her name only as Miss Mirage. However, the area MP said he has kept residents up to date on his efforts to address the issue. The residents have been constantly updated up to 2 weeks ago at a community meeting attended by representatives of my office and the NWA, said Valls in a statement. While I remain very understanding and sympathetic, let me clearly state that orchestrated demonstrations cannot and will not be a remedy for this situation, which requires a specific process which I am closely monitoring, he added. He said he has in recent years successfully lobbied for another bridge to be replaced in the same district that had cost more than $50 million. Meanwhile, efforts are being made to identify funds for the $107 million fixed mode for the bridge at the center of the Thursday's protests. The MP said he has taken several steps to address the residents' concerns, including putting in a bypass through the river and adding street lights along that route. When that pass became impossible, he said he put plans in place to have transportation provided at no cost to the residents and students. In the coming weeks, I will ensure the entire roadway from Buff Bay to Whitehall is bushed and temporary repairs done to damaged sections of the road from the Craig Mill Bridge to Whitehall, said Valls. I understand the frustration of the residents and commuters and will continue to advocate for this regrettable inconvenience to be addressed on behalf of my constituents, he added. Ex-commish says some crime measures are waste of human resources. Former Commissioner of Police Rear Admiral Hardly Lewin has delivered a blistering criticism of how some crime-fighting measures have been implemented, classing them as an abuse of good human resources. Lewin, in his strong critique, declared that criminals are outthinking the authorities, who he said have failed to anticipate the next move of lawbreakers. They are thinking and we're not thinking. It's as simple as that. And we have got to be adaptable. So when start to make some understanding that they are going to adapt because they are highly adaptable, said Llewellyn, who was speaking at a panel of Jamaicans for Justice JFJ launch of the Justice Report on Wednesday at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Llewellyn added, "Don't wait for their new methodology to take hold before we play catch up. Think it through. What are they going to do next? You see the recent successes on the wharves. They are going to move their method of importing weapons. Have we started to think clearly? They are going to move to some other means. Now, what will that be? We have in the security forces the leadership, the brains to think things through, but we must get out of some of the things we are just lacking into, certain of the things we are doing," he stated. We need a strategy that says we must cut down on the free movement of criminals without being challenged. We want to break up the space and the free movement of criminals throughout the country or an area. Moments earlier, the former commissioner stated his opinion on how the government recently utilized the controversial state of emergency as a crime-fighting tool. We can't do it by having some soldiers and police under a tent at a fixed point. We need to have mobile checkpoints. They drive around, stop, half hour here, stop, check, move about. Criminals must be kept off balance, Llewellyn asserted. We would have done what we did in Montego Bay without a declaration. The only thing that we could do was to detain people for a period that we have done and suspended habeas corpus, he stated. I have no problem with a state of emergency for the 2 weeks if you want to go shock and awe, as they call it, but when it expires, let it expire. There are many operational measures that can be implemented that have better value than a state of emergency, he added. The kind of state of emergency and the things have been doing, to me, is an abuse of good human resources, he said. Lewin opined that Jamaica's crime problem started before independence, but is manifesting with the current crime wave and need goods, effective and professional policing to solve. He said the issue should be tackled at all levels including the breaking of the law on the island's road, with all members of the police force, as well as citizens and government playing a role. Lewin was the Commissioner of Police between 2007 and 2009 and led the Jamaica Defense Force from 2002 to 2007. Gunman busted in shootout with cops linked to 2021 murder. A St. Catherine man who was apprehended during an alleged shootout with the police on March 17 has been linked to the murder of 44-year-old vendor. According to the Constabulary's Communications Unit, 29-year-old Siddiqui Black of Johnspen District in Redwood, St. Catherine, has been charged with murder and wounding with intent following the April 3, 2021 incident. Reports are that about 8:30 a.m., the vendor Oral Scott was hanging clothes on a stall when he was pounced upon by Black and another man who opened gunfire, hitting him. Another man was also injured. Scott died while being treated at hospital. The other man was treated and released. The alleged gunman was arrested during a confrontation with the police in Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew. Law enforcers said cell site data was among the evidence that linked Black to the era of the time of Scott's murder. Black was charged following an interview in the presence of his attorney. His court date is being finalized. PNP expresses concern about changes made in the Government of Jamaica Broadcasting and Information Services. The People's National Party (PNP) has expressed concern about recent reports regarding leadership changes in the Government of Jamaica Communications Unit, beginning with the Jamaica Information Service (JIS). Considering the sterling performance of JIS outgoing CEO, Donna Marie Rowe, we are curious to learn what the new strategy entails and why she was deemed unqualified to effect these changes, the PNP said in a release on Thursday. The opposition party added that they have heard of further changes to come and that they are also concerned about the appearance of politicizing governance boards. There is also talk of changes to come at the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica, PBCJ, and the Broadcasting Commission, BCJ, which is a regulatory body. It is concerning that the minister appears to be intent on politicizing the governance board when the law gives the power of appointment of the Governor General specifically to keep these agencies out of the political fray, PNP said. State Minister of Education, Youth and Information Robert Morgan would be well advised to proceed with caution as he seeks to make these sweeping changes. He should take heed from the public's reaction to these developments, as it is essential that the line between promoting government policy and party political interest is not crossed, the party added. The release went on to state that selection of the replacement must be closely monitored and scrutinized, as these positions are traditionally held by suitable qualified people with unquestionable integrity. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.